Hi and welcome to my November garden tour. This month has been a bit of a wild ride with the weather. Over here we're still getting the heat waves are reaching 30 degrees and it's been raining quite a lot. And if it isn't raining, it's sprinkling at night, which hasn't been going good for my pumpkins. Even when I'm spraying, because I'm using an organic spray, so it's not that strong. It's kind of hard to stop with the leaves getting wet most of the nights. But anyway, I tried to wait for a sunny day to film this tour, but I thought why not just do it when it's rainy, because it's kind of appropriate for this month. Let's start with the entrance side. My corns are doing pretty good, they're quite healthy. And I actually got a new garden bed. This is actually my first birdie's garden bed. I actually like it a lot. The curved edges is a nice look to it. And it's a lot sturdier this way over the clipping, over the sliding panels. And this bed I have peanuts growing, which I've been wanting to plant for a long time. And here is my corn plants. The direct sown plants are very tall, too tall for me to reach. They are starting to grow out their ears, but it's a bit difficult to pollinate them with all this rain. And here are my oldest ones. These are actually ready to pick. I will be harvesting these. I'll put it at the end of the tour, so if you want to see that, stick around. But these, I think these are pretty much my healthiest ones. I usually don't get 2 ears growing, and one of them actually had 2 ears the same size, so that's, that's the first for me. Oh, and I forgot to shoot it, but if you can see at the bottom, I have climbing beans. Just climb on the corn stalks once they finish growing. Anyway, let's continue on. So here will be my giant sweet potato attempt. It's a Beauregard. It's my first time using this variety. I've used Hawaiian Sunshine and I forgot the other one, Northern Star. I've done those already, so this one will be the first one for this. And let's take a look at my long bed. Here we have a zucchini plant, a ton of dwarf beans, and a cucumber plant. This zucchini actually had a problem with it. I'm not too sure because the leaves are burning up and I can't be over fertilization because when I gave it liquid fertilizer that should have killed it, but it didn't. But the plant eventually recovered and it's looking nice and healthy again. Here we have my cucumbers are starting to grow out. And this is one of the things I did imagine when I was growing beans here, for them to hang out on the sides. And it seems that they are hanging out, which is nice. And I will be harvesting these. These will also be at the end of the video. And in this bed, that was originally meant to be only okra, because the first set failed and the second set, most of them failed, I just started planting whatever. There was some self-seeded coriander in there. I did transplant some new okra, which I did plant in extra spaces there, but now I have zucchini plants here. And this one is my best growing okra at the moment. So these two zucchinis are actually called Strato di Italia, if I said that right. They kind of had stripes on them, so I'm looking forward to this as it's different from the Black Beauty. I have grown this in the past before, but it didn't grow too well. And my L-shaped bed, or corner bed, we have a lot of things growing here. So I did add some new plants to this, the 2 tomato plants and a eggplant. The 2 tomato plants are looking quite well though. We haven't been able to pick much of the herbs, we haven't been eating them so far, so they are quite bushy. So this one over here we have Mortgage Lifter. and black crim. And this was supposed to be a beetroot area, but most of them failed to grow because of the heat wave. The remaining ones are doing good. I actually haven't had a beetroot grow this big in a long while because I always used to just plant them in like small spaces, and that never worked out. It's kind of good to see these actually put on some good size. And we have my basil, oregano, whichever way you say it. Some parsley, coriander. We haven't done much of the oregano though. And here is the back view. This is where we have my eggplant. This variety is Listanda gigandia. It's not growing as fast. I think it's being blocked out a lot by the basil, but it should be fine. After a while, it should start taking over this area. Here we have my golden nugget, which is doing really well. It wasn't looking that good at the start. There was a lot of nitrogen in the soil. I had to force the plant to put energy into the pumpkins by cutting off all the ends off, and I think it did the trick. But these are pretty good, and just growing in this area. If they taste pretty nice too, this will be a permanent plant of Rize's garden. And here we have my viney pumpkins. 4 plants in here. Jardale, Small Sugar, Queensland Blue, and Jap. But yeah, as you can see with all the rain, a lot of the leaves is overwatering and the powdery mildew, and I think we have downy mildew as well. No, it's taking over the plants in a way. And over here with my long garden bed with the rest of the pumpkins, a few plants are doing okay, but I do have my Small Sugar here that's covered in powdery mildew. I was able to stop it, but it took a few sprays. This might be a variety that I might not be growing anymore because it's also it's the first pumpkin variety to always get powdery mildew, followed by butternut. The ones that don't get powdery mildew so easily is the bigger varieties like Jardale and Queensland Blue, like this one right here. The Jap pumpkins this year, or from this seed packet, it's a really oddball one. They have not produced a single female flower. I planted this in the other years. They grew like normal. These are like 2 meters long and still no female flower, which is weird. And here's the oldest ones, the Small Sugar, and they're starting to ripen. And here's my other pumpkins. We have my butternut and another Small Sugar. I don't know if covering it from the rain helps. I think last year I started seeing spots on one of my pumpkins from all the rains. And over here we have a nice growing Queensland Blue. But this one is weird. Well, maybe not weird, but the point is normal, unlike my first one, which I'll show in a bit. Looks like that same plant is strong enough to provide a second fruit. And look at that gloss on that. Beautiful. My other butternuts. Hopefully they should ripen soon. I do need to cut back on a lot of leaves because I don't want them to be spreading on my other pumpkins and my giant pumpkin. This one is my best one. Good size. And 2 more small sugars. This one is quite small. I think this one fits the name with its size. And this is a Jarradale. I think it's starting to ripen because the color is different. But I think it needs to be like a grayish color. But this one's nice. It's kind of nice to grow a pumpkin that isn't orange. And here we have the front, or the back view, I guess. So here we have my, well, I thought it was going to grow bigger, but it didn't get that too much bigger, but I'll just say my monster Queensland Blue just because of the shape of it. Yeah, unlike the other Queensland Blue that I showed earlier, this one has that open blossom end, which I've seen from other growers, so that's normal. And this small sugar was supposed to be bigger, but I ended up having a third one, which I didn't see. A nice secret one. So if this one wasn't here, that one next to the Queensland Blue would have been a lot bigger. But secret ones are nice. My snake beans over here, they're finally starting to vine on the trellis. And here's my bitter melon here. It is a bit behind though. Here's the rest of my golden nuggets in pots. I think these are ready to pick because they've been the same size for a long time and their color hasn't changed. It's just the stem is getting browner, but I am gonna leave it so I can harvest it all at once. And here's the other 2 pots. So yeah, this is the variety you want to grow this pumpkin if you really don't have any space. Very compact. I think this one here is my favorite one. It's got a nice shape to it. And there is a bit of stripes. I don't think the other ones have the stripes on them. Or just barely. And here's my giant pumpkin. It's doing quite well. I think I'll start to let it fruit out. But with this one, I am doing its own video, so if you want to keep up with the giant pumpkin journey, the next video coming up, growing a giant pumpkin, episode 2. So it's basically grown all over this area and grown into the extended area. But yeah, I'm quite excited for this. I haven't grown any giant pumpkin before, so this is a bit new to me, but let's see how we do. Here's my giant 849 gram potato that I planted. The growth has stopped now and it's around upper chest height. Which is pretty tall and with multiple stems either. So I did upload a video on this, but it's not going to be a series. Or maybe. I'll see if there's anything that changes halfway through. But we still got 2 to 3 months with this. Here we have my 12 potatoes. I think I'm losing count at this point. Yeah, 12 potatoes, they're layered. These are first early, so they aren't gonna last too long. But because of the rain, they are having some fungal growth on the leaves, which is killing it off earlier than expected. Here's the potatoes growing in my soil comparison. They're lasting a lot longer than I thought, which is a good sign. But yeah, I might be harvesting these pretty soon. I do want to make sure it's a bit more yellow before I do that. Or 90 days. I think I'm going to have to come back. So here we put up an area. This was like all over the place. I don't know if it was going to be a composting area or whatever, but we decided to put in a permanent climbing area for my choco and anything else that's going to be climbing there. So this is kind of nice to have because my other setup before, it was not really a solid setup, so it kept bending, breaking. But now we have a nice permanent area. Here's more bitter melon. This is from Happy Valley Seeds. We've been trying to look for this variety for ages and finally found them here. Here's my banana pups that I transferred successfully this time. And they're finally starting to grow out. Though a lot of things have changed, so I don't know exactly where I'm going to be planting these anymore. But for now, they'll stay in the pot. I like the look of the baby leaf. It's like a stain, red stain on it. And here is a tomato that was from that grew from the compost. Here we have some grapes. These are the green grapes. This is actually, it hasn't grown this good in a while actually. I'm quite surprised. This is a very nice cluster. Here's the red grapes. I think they've stopped growing. It is its first year producing fruits though. And here we have the black wine grape. Doing good as it does every year. But yeah, I'm gonna have to set up a more stable and permanent setup. There's so many supports and broken parts for these, it's a bit ridiculous. And here is the flower area. These butterfly bush are lasting a lot longer than usual, which is nice. Longer extraction time for bees and butterflies. But yeah, I think I'll skip over the rest of the fruit trees because there's nothing much difference between them and the last vlog, which was in my 1,000 subscriber video, if you still haven't seen that yet. But anyway, that's the end of the tour and we're going to be harvesting some things from the garden. So these are about probably 24, 25 or 26 days since pollinated. So these are more than ready. And it looks like we got a perfect corn cob. This is a super sweet bicolor variety, a snow gold. And I do have a how to pollinate corn cobs if you are struggling to grow corn. I'm trying to not break the stems because I am going to leave these for the climbing beans to climb on. And here we have 4 nice sized corn ears. And here I'll be picking some beetroot as well. So we have the crimson globe. It's meant to be round, but it kind of grew long. And this variety here is Tioga. It's a mix of white and red in the inside. Which actually I should have shown in the video, but I didn't end up doing that. And we'll be picking my dwarf beans. These are the snap beans. And here we are. 780 grams of beans. It's pretty nice. This is the first big harvest and there's still a lot to come. And here's what we got today. The corns are looking great. And if you're growing corn and you don't know, you're supposed to eat it within, I think, 24 hours or 12 hours within harvest to have that nice sweet taste to it. Otherwise, it converts to starch. But anyway, thank you for watching and I hope you enjoy.